Okay, the time is 6:47.
Charlie Jack, 57 Medic 1 engine 27 202 108 S10 Dagmar Road, apartment 2 Henrik, for the female solid state vomiting. Evac 57 Medic 1 engine 27 202 108 S108 Dagmar Road, the Harrison Metro Avenue, apartment 2 Henrik, abdominal pain and vomiting, 1848 70.
Okay, the regular meeting with the Eastchester Board of Fire Commissioners at Station 1, Fire Headquarters. First order of business is going to be the salute to the flag.
Allegiance to the flag of the United States of America and to the republic for which it stands, one nation, under God, indivisible, with liberty and justice for all.
Can we have a motion to go into executive session?
I'll make the motion.
Second.
Second.
All in favor?
Aye.
Okay.
Doing it here?
No, we're gonna go into my office, so you can stay here.
I don't
Okay,
think they
we're
actually.
going back into executive session. Motion to enter into executive session. Public session.
So be it. So be it.
All in favor?
Aye.
Okay. Treasurer's report.
Okay. I prepared my report for this evening. Our financials as of August 31st currently present a net budget surplus of approximately 1.7 million. Part of that is timing, and there'll be an upcoming retro payment for the MOA that was recently signed and ratified by the board and the union, which will impact that. There are a few accounts right now that are trending over budget, so probably maybe once we're through the budget, maybe November, I'll do another round of budget transfer recommendations. And then, as far as Treasury Direct, we still have about $15 million invested in $3 million increments. The rates are decreasing, still around 4%, so still making a decent amount of interest there. We're getting into the time of year where we will start to lower our investments as some of our larger expenses come in, our retirement bill and some other large payments that we'll have to make, but still invested there. So the main thing for this evening is that I have circulated to the board a draft of an adopted proposed budget. So by September 30th, the board is required to adopt a proposed budget for 2026. This is subject to change. We'll have a budget hearing in October where this may increase or decrease depending on any new factors, any potential outreach from the public. We have until November 4th to finalize the budget, but we do have our budget hearing scheduled for October 21st. Main factors in the budget, we've talked about a few of them already at our previous meetings. We do not have any carryover available. We do have the ability to increase the budget approximately 2.7%, which is about $650,000 without exceeding the tax cap. However, for the factors we're going to discuss, we likely will need to exceed the tax cap. Main items is that main difference from the last meeting to this meeting is that as I mentioned already, the board and the union have now ratified an MOA that will be the basis of the collective bargaining agreement that will cover 2025, 2026, and 2027. Many items were contemplated in this, but the main items that are going to impact our budget that you'll see in what's presented is that there are 4% per year salary increases, increases to differentials between top firefighter pay, lieutenant pay, captain pay, increases to EMT pay, and additional paid holidays. So those are not everything that's addressed in there, but some of the items that will be impacting our budget. There was also, as we talked about, just certain GL accounts that we need to increase the budgets based on our historical spending, what we're seeing in 2025. Those are like vehicle maintenance, emergency equipment, our payroll processing expense, and a few others. The budget includes replacing 3 vehicles per Assistant Chief Yazzo's apparatus plan in 2026. We're estimated those replacements at about approximately $250,000, and those are the only apparatus replacements considered in the budget. There is nothing considered for capital improvements. I know we were talking about Station 3, but I think we're looking towards bonding. So other than just our general, like we have funds in there for consultant fees and engineering fees, but nothing specifically for capital improvements. We did receive our projected New York State retirement bill for 2026. The rates this year increased 10% per tier, which according to the projection, it's expected to increase our payment approximately $350,000, getting close to $4 million at this time. And then with respect to our healthcare, we don't have any estimates from NIBs from NISHIP. We don't expect to receive them prior to the budget. We did build in last year a 12% increase, which had been based on the 3-year history. We had really no increase. The rates really stayed static from 2024 to 2025. So based on that, I haven't built in any additional increases going into 2026 because hopefully what we've built in will cover it. I know there is a lot of talk about we could see, higher rates because of some of the changes to Medicaid and prescription drugs and tariffs and things like that. So we don't have a good idea at this point, but for purposes of our budget, I didn't put in an increase at this point in time. So all that amounts to what would be approximately a 4.68% increase. That would exceed the tax cap, as I mentioned. We did go through and see what we could eliminate, if anything, like for instance on the apparatus, like we had $500,000 in the budget the last 2 years to cover the engine that we'll be receiving next year. So we've lowered that to $250,000 based on the new plan. So we have adjusted certain GLs both up and down, but ultimately we're looking at about 4.68%. So as I mentioned, the board does need to approve a proposed budget prior to September 30th. So if nothing is approved tonight, we would need to meet again prior to then. And as I mentioned, the board does have the ability to adjust that up or down prior to, ultimately voting on a final budget. So that's my report. If there's any questions.
Thank you, Jamie.
Wait, quick question.
Yeah.
The new engine 29 is being delivered next year.
Yes.
And we could potentially owe another $64,000.
Yes.
It's supposed to be reduced because of the engine. It changed. They're changing to the current engine that we have in the other vehicles. Mm-hmm. Do you have that in there somewhere, or?
I don't.
Okay.
I think we'll
take it out of the general.
I think we'll have it from this year
Okay.
with our Treasury Direct earnings that were not really earmarked for anything. So I don't think we need to have the $64,000 in there, especially like we said, it might even be lower than that.
Now. Yeah.
And then that does remind me, just one thing to point out. I did put some interest earnings back into the budget. We talked about this before. We've had a lot of success with Treasury Direct in the past few years, but we really can't rely on the interest that we're earning there. And we did have that happen one year where we built it in and then the rates kind of went to the floor. However, based on what we've been earning and even just looking at our JP Morgan accounts, I did build in like a small amount of $60,000 of interest earnings into our income to reduce the tax levy, just because that amount is more, we're able to budget for that amount more than to say like we could earn, $300,000 from Treasury Direct. But I did build some of that back in to, increase some of our earnings and maybe decrease our tax liability. So, yeah.
So for the numbers here, total expenditures would be what exactly?
The total expenditures would be $25,071,650, and the total tax levy would be $24,990,650.
That's what I thought, okay.
Chief's report.
Thank you, Commissioner. Good evening, everybody. The August 2025 monthly activity report. Total alarms, 341. Fire were 5. EMS or rescue, 194. And we gave mutual aid twice, once to the City of Yonkers and once to Hartsdale Fire Department. 3 probationary firefighters began the Career Fire Academy on Tuesday, September 9th. They will undergo 21 weeks of rigorous training. Best of luck to Nicholas DeBrino, Kevin Donovan, and Giovanni Ruffalo. Hank Henninger's mechanics report for August was emailed to the board on September 12th, as was Tim Dalton's maintenance report. Fire prevention and code enforcement activities continue with numerous plan reviews and inspections. The fire prevention reports for August were emailed to the board on September 8th. The week of October 5th is Fire Prevention Week, and the emphasis this year is on safely charging lithium-ion batteries. Captain Pinaval and the members will be conducting safety demonstrations at many of the local elementary schools. Currently, there is 1 member out on long-term absence. Old car 2107, a GMC 2007 GMC Yukon used by the Fire Prevention Office, was sold at auction on the Auction International website. The winning bidder was Moshe Fogel of Brooklyn, and the amount was $3,700. The 9/11 Never Forget Mobile Museum will be coming to the Immaculate Conception School parking lot. It will be available for touring to the public on October 6th and 7th. I think they prefer if you come in the afternoons, because in the mornings I believe the elementary schools or the schools will be going by. It is sponsored by the Eastchester Rotary Club and the 9/11 Education Foundation. The board has met with 2 project management firms for the repairs or replacement of the Bronxville Firehouse. Please consider hiring DAC Consulting Solutions or Calgi Construction or some other firm to move that project forward. The board has been presented with 3 quotes to replace the lower garage door at fire headquarters. The lowest quote is from United Overhead Door Corporation of Mamaroneck, New York, for $5,763. I would ask the board to make a resolution authorizing that purchase. The board has also been presented with 3 quotes to purchase fire reporting software to comply with the new state and federal mandate of NERIS. The new fire reporting requirements, it's going to be required to use that as of January 1st. So we need to purchase it, get our members trained, get it up and running so that we can comply with that deadline. The current software we have is going to be going away, so it's not going to be compliant. The board has been presented with a proposal for emergency medical technician training, or EMT. The current instructor will no longer be available after December 31st, 2025. So we have a proposal. Hopefully the board will approve that tonight. And finally, I request that the board close tonight's meeting with a moment of silence in memory of the passing of volunteer firefighter Robert Sullivan. He passed on 9/11/2025. He joined the Rescue Hook and Ladder Company No. 1 on October 9, 1986, and was issued badge 1732. That's the end of my report.
Thank you, Chief. Secretary report.
Commissioners, so the fire district election, that's going to be the main focus for tonight's report. The resolutions have been prepared for the board for tonight's meeting. Fire district election materials will be updated and available on the Eastchester Fire District website, eastchesternyfd.gov, early next week. Candidates for district office shall file written petitions subscribed by at least 25 qualified voters with the Secretary of the Fire District at 255 Main Street, Eastchester, New York, no later than November 19th by 4 p.m. of 2025. Petition forms shall be made available by the Secretary upon request or can be found on our website, eastchesternyfd.gov. And for other tasks for community outreach, ongoing updates to the website, I'll reach out to Chief Queen and Assistant Chief Piazzo for updating our annual report for 2025. And then August activity for foils, our office received 5 foil requests and ongoing work for loose records and scanning projects and office tasks as usual. And that's the end of my report. Thank you.
Thank you. Business office recommendations. everyone's had a chance to look at the vouchers, can we approve the expenses for the month, for warrants? Okay. Be it resolved that the Board of Fire Commissioners approves to pay the bills and vouchers as presented. The board has been supplied with one set of bills and one credit card bill. Chief Tween has reviewed all prior to the meeting except certiorari claims and those specifically marked as reviewed by the treasurer. The treasurer has requested the board approve the following. Warrant 1, dated 9/18/2025, for $421,570.79. Credit card bill dated 9/18/2025 for $3,084.30, for a total of $424,655.09.
I'll make a motion. You're making a motion, right?
No, okay, motion to pay the bills?
I'll second it.
I'll call the roll. Commissioner Yankowski.
Aye.
Commissioner Sarasi.
Aye.
Commissioner Loring.
Aye.
Commissioner Carlo.
Aye.
Commissioner Randall.
Aye.
Motion carried.
Okay. Now for the 3-minute,
Then the budget.
oh, that's right, I'm sorry. The adopted proposed budget for 2026. Be it resolved that the Board of Fire Commissioners adopts a proposed budget for 2026 with total fire district expenditures of $25,716.50.
Sorry. 71,600.
70,
Sorry, Paul.
25,71,071,650 for a tax levy of 24,990,650. And benefits, the proposed tax increase is 4.68% and includes salary and benefits for 83 paid officers and firefighters. Proposed budget will exceed the tax cap. The board will conduct a public budget hearing on October 21st, 2025 at 7 p.m. in the evening at Fire District Headquarters. At the conclusion of the public hearing, the board may move for a final budget adoption. Okay,
I'll make a motion. Need a second?
I'll second.
I'll call the roll. Commissioner Yankowski.
Aye.
Commissioner Sarasi.
Aye.
Commissioner Loring.
Aye.
Commissioner Carlo.
Aye.
Commissioner Randall.
aye.
Motion carried.
Okay.
3 minutes, yeah.
Okay. 3-minute public comment policy. Resolution number 9.1, dated September 18th of 2025. A resolution of the Board of Fire Commissioners of the Eastchester Fire District establishing a time limit for public comment at meetings. Whereas the Board of Fire Commissioners and the Eastchester Fire District, the board, recognizes the importance of public participation and values the input of residents and stakeholders during this meeting. And whereas the board seeks to ensure that meetings are conducted orderly, efficient, and respectful manner, allowing all interested parties fair opportunity to be heard. And whereas the board is authorized under New York State law and the Open Meetings Law to adopt reasonable rules governing the conduct of its meetings, including the regulation of public comment. Now, therefore, be it resolved that the Board of Fire Commissioners hereby establishes the following policy regarding public comment at all regular and special meetings of the board. 1, time limit. Each individual wishing to speak during the public comment portion of a meeting shall be permitted to speak for a maximum of 3 minutes. Extension of time. Any individual who wishes to speak for longer than 3 minutes must request and receive prior approval from the Board of Fire Commissioners, which may be granted at the discretion of the board. Applicability. This policy shall apply to all members of the public, including residents, property owners, and other stakeholders, and shall be enforced in a viewpoint-neutral manner. Implementation. The chairperson or presiding officer of the meeting shall be responsible for enforcing this policy and may use a timer or other means to ensure compliance. Effective date, this resolution shall take effect immediately upon adoption.
On this here. Now, if a man gets up or a lady gets up, she speaks for 3 minutes and she goes on. What's it mean that says you gotta get approval? In writing or at that meeting?
No.
Before.
No one knows if their comments are gonna be 3 minutes or 2 minutes, or if it goes on to 4 minutes.
It's just the prior approval from the Board of Fire Commission. So if you know you're gonna come to the meeting and you're gonna speak on a certain topic and you need more than 3 minutes, you tell us.
So then the board can't ask that person any questions on their comments, because if they go beyond 3 minutes, then they're finished, right?
It's 3 minutes. You make your comments.
No, wait, I didn't get my answer. In other words, if Lieutenant Costanza gets up and he's speaking, and you're asking him questions about his comment, and all of a sudden the bell rings, it's 3 minutes, he's gotta sit down, or he's gotta go back up and write up a request and give it to the board?
Well, I think we're asking any questions. These are public comments.
No, you're asking the questions.
I'm gonna ask any questions.
But if someone else does, I'm not saying you as
They've
an
got to do
individual.
it in 3 minutes.
No, that's wrong. And who wrote this up?
The-
Who wrote this up, Commissioner Reynolds?
Our attorney.
Our attorney?
Yes.
Did he sign it?
You have to sign it.
Yes, he does. I spoke to him, and he says he has to sign it, and it has to have his letterhead on it.
Really?
Yes, I spoke to him, and he told me that.
Okay, well,
And we don't have that in writing. If you have it in writing, you don't have his signature, and you don't have his letterhead paper.
I spoke to him also. He never said it to me.
Well, I asked him that, and he told me yes. So then before you vote on this, we should have a conference call next meeting and ask him about this, Commissioner Reynolds. Now, he told Commissioner Carlo one thing, he told me another thing. So before we vote on it, I think we should have a conference call at our next meeting in an executive session. There's no problem on that.
Okay, we can do that.
Okay.
Construction management firm, Station 3.
We're doing,
You missed one.
yep.
So,
9.2.
okay, use of district property district guidelines policy. Whereas the Eastchester Fire District is a duly organized fire district governed by the Board of Fire Commissioners pursuant to the laws of New York State. And whereas the Board of Fire Commissioners is responsible for the management, control, and oversight of all real and personal property owned by the district. And whereas the district's property, including but not limited to fire stations, apparatus, equipment, and other assets, is held for the benefit of the public and must be used in a manner consistent with district's mission and applicable laws. And whereas it is necessary to establish clear guidelines to ensure that any use of district property by volunteer fire companies or other entities is subject to appropriate oversight and authorization. Now, therefore, be it resolved by the Board of Fire Commissioners of the Eastchester Fire District as follows. Use of district property. No volunteer fire company, fire department, or any other organization or individual shall use, occupy, or access any property, equipment, or facilities owned by the district without prior written approval of the Board of Fire Commissioners. Approval process. Any request for use of district property must be submitted in writing to the board, specifying the nature, purpose, date, and duration of the proposed use. The board shall review such requests at a duly convened meeting and may approve, deny, or conditionally approve the request in its sole discretion. Enforcement. Unauthorized use of district property shall be deemed a violation of this resolution and may result in disciplinary action, revocation of privileges, or other remedies as permitted by law. Effective date. This resolution shall take effect immediately upon adoption.
Same thing, Commissioner. We didn't see nothing in writing. Well, we did see it in writing, but we didn't see it with the attorney's signature or his letterhead paper. I mean, I saw at the last meeting that it was proposed on it, but I didn't see no signature from a lawyer, and I didn't see his letterhead paper. Same thing we got on this same.
Okay, we'll hold that till next month also.
Thank you.
The Eastchester Fire, 9.3, construction management firm for Station 3. The Eastchester Fire District, herein referred to as the district, affirms its desire for the chairman of the board to negotiate and execute an agreement between the district and Calgi Construction for the design, located at Queens, for design services for the district firehouse located at 20 Midland Avenue, Boston, New York, 10708. Said agreement will include but not be limited to the project scope, professional service fees, terms and conditions, and liability, so long as the aforementioned agreement is approved by the Fire District Legal Counsel. Any problem with that?
No?
No, this is their problem with that.
Chief and Assistant Chief contract revisions.
Motion on that?
Wait, did you have to vote?
All right, I do have to get a motion for it. Okay, a motion for that.
To hire Calvi Construction
I'll make
Management
the
Services.
Second.
Okay, second on that? For Calvi Construction for Station 3.
No one's gonna second it?
Anybody want to second that?
I'll second it.
Okay.
I'll call the roll. Commissioner Yankowski.
Aye.
Commissioner Sarasi.
Aye.
Commissioner Lori.
Aye.
Commissioner Carlo.
Aye.
Commissioner Ranalone.
Aye.
Motion carried.
Chief and Assistant Chief contract revisions, 9.4. Be it resolved that the Eastchester Board of Fire Commissioners approves the following amendments to the Chief and Assistant Chief contracts. This addendum is entered into by and between the Board of Fire Commissioners and the Chief and Assistant Chief, and shall be incorporated into and made part of the existing employment agreement. Salary and compensation, effective January 1st, 2025. The base salary shall be increased by 4%, retroactive to said date. Number 2, effective January 1st, 2026, the base salary shall be increased by an additional 4%. 3, effective January 1st, 2026, the employee shall receive an emergency medical technician EMT stipend of 3.5% based on 50-year top firefighter salary. 4, effective January 1st, 2025, the employee shall receive a longevity increase of 5%, retroactive to said date. Leave and holidays, the employee shall be entitled to unlimited sick leave as set forth in the memorandum of agreement. 6, Martin Luther King Jr. Day shall be added as the 14th recognized holiday. Vacation, the employee shall be entitled to 7 weeks equal to 35 days of paid vacation per calendar year. The employee must use no fewer than 20 vacation days in the same calendar year. 9, the remaining balance of up to 15 unused vacation days may be carried over into the next calendar year, only with written notification from the employee. 10, if the employee does not provide such written notification, any unused vacation days not taken shall be liquidated and paid out in cash at the end of the calendar year. 11, in the event of the employee's retirement, any unused vacation days shall be fully paid out to the employee. Miscellaneous, except as expressly modified in this addendum, all other terms, conditions, and provisions of the employment agreement shall remain in full force and effect. Okay. We're not voting on, are we voting on that at this time?
Sure, yeah.
Okay. Do I have a second to that?
Who made the motion? Who made the motion?
Motion?
We'll make the motion.
Okay, I'll make the
Okay.
motion.
Yankowski, second.
Okay, I'll call the roll. Commissioner Yankowski.
Aye.
Commissioner Sarasi.
Aye.
Commissioner Lori.
Aye.
Commissioner Carlo.
Aye.
Commissioner Ranalone.
Aye.
Motion carried.
Okay, 9.6.
Oh,
I'm sorry, 9.5. New incident reporting software. We resolve that the Eastchester Board of Fire Commissioners authorizes Chief Brian Tween to make the purchase for a new incident reporting software with blank for 1 year course for a total of blank.
So the company I'm recommending, which is the lowest cost by far, is Alpine Software is the name of the company, and their product is Red NMX System. And the 1 year cost is $5,995 for the first year.
Okay, so I'll make the motion for that.
I'll second.
I'll call the roll, or you're right there. Commissioner Yankowski.
Aye.
Commissioner Sarasi.
Aye.
Commissioner Lori.
Aye.
Commissioner Carlo.
Aye.
Commissioner Randall.
Aye.
Motion carried.
Okay, 9.6, 911 Ware Inc. EMT training. Be it resolved that the Board of Fire Commissioners authorizes Chief Brian Tweeney to sign a contract with 911 Ware Inc. to provide the EMT refresher training for the district's members for a total sum of $21,000 for the year 2026.
Sounds good.
Our vendor that provided it, so there's no difference
Okay.
in past years.
So we never
Do you need a
vote on
motion
it?
for that also?
Yeah,
I'll
yeah,
make
you
it.
authorize me to hire them.
I'll second the motion.
I'll call the roll. Commissioner Yankowski.
Aye.
Commissioner Sarasi.
Aye.
Commissioner Lori.
Aye.
Commissioner Carlo.
Aye.
Commissioner Randall.
Aye.
Motion carried.
Okay, 9.7, replacement of fire headquarters lower garage door. Be it resolved that the Eastchester Board of Fire Commissioners authorize Chief Twain to replace the fire headquarters lower garage door using the United Overhead Door Corporation in Mamaroneck, New York. Quote for $5,763.
I'll make the motion.
On the motion, Chief, that's motorized, isn't it?
Yes, it'll have a electric, door opener on it.
Okay. All right. I'll make the motion.
Okay, second?
Second.
I'll call the roll. Commissioner Yankowski.
Aye.
Commissioner Sarasi.
Aye.
Commissioner Lori.
Aye.
Commissioner Carlo. Commissioner Randall.
Aye.
Motion carried.
Okay, 9.8, Fire District Election 2025. Election resolutions, September 2025 meeting. Resolution appointing Board of Elections Chairman. Whereas Section 175A of the town law provides for a system of registration for fire district elections, and whereas a register of eligible fire district voters must be prepared prior to the fire district election, and whereas such register shall be prepared from the names of persons who have registered with the Westchester County Board of Elections. Now therefore be it resolved that the following resident electors of the Eastchester Fire District are hereby appointed to constitute the Eastchester Fire District Board of Elections for the 2025 annual fire district election. Chairperson of elections, be it further resolved that the fire district's chairperson of elections shall be compensated in the amount of $100 for their services, that the Board of Elections be compensated in the amount of $100 for their services in preparing the registration records, and that the appointed election inspectors for the Eastchester Fire District election to be held on Tuesday, December 9th, 2025, be compensated in the amount of $100.
Now that's if the person works from 2 to 9, he gets the same amount?
Yes.
Okay. All right. I'll make the motion to,
Oh, there's a little bit more. Or unless you want to do it piece by piece.
Yeah, let's do the whole thing. List of inspectors, annual fire district election. The Westchester County Board of Elections will supply a list of approved election inspectors to utilize electronic voting machines on election day. Be it further resolved that in case any of the members appointed therein are unable to refuse to assume or perform the duties required of them, this Board of Fire Commissioners or election chairman shall appoint alternates who are resident electors and reassign location as needed. Resolution for preparation of registration rolls. Be it resolved that the Board of Fire Commissioners of the Eastchester Fire District, having heretofore appointed a Board of Elections to comply with the registration and voting procedures set forth in Section 175 and 175A of the town law, does hereby designate on or about the 24th day of November 2025, between the hours of 1 p.m. and 4 p.m., as the date and time of the meeting of the Board of Elections to prepare registration rolls for the annual election of the Eastchester Fire District. Fire district election will be held on Tuesday, December 9th, 2025, between the hours of 2 p.m. and 9 p.m. at the following locations. Leroy Gregory American Legion Post 979 at 40 Bell Road, Scarsdale. Tuckahoe Community Center, 71 Columbus Avenue, Tuckahoe, New York. Bronxville Village Hall, 200 Caulfield Road, Bronxville, New York. Eastchester Public Library, 11 Oak Ridge Place, Eastchester, New York. Legal notice. Be it further resolved that a legal notice informing the resident electors of the Eastchester Fire District of this election be published one time by the Fire District Secretary in the official newspapers of the Eastchester Fire District between November 12, 2025, November 5th through the 12th, 2025. Legal notice. Notice of annual election. Please take notice that the annual election of Eastchester Fire District will take place on Tuesday, December 9th, 2025, between the hours of 2 p.m. and 9 p.m. at the following locations for the purpose of electing one Fire District Commissioner for a 5-year term commencing January 1st, 2026 and ending December 31st, 2030. Only those persons who have registered with the Westchester County Board of Elections on or before the 17th day of November 2025 and have resided in the fire district for at least 30 days prior to the date of election shall be eligible to vote. Candidates for district office shall file written petitions subscribed by at least 25 qualified voters with the Secretary of the Fire District at 255 Main Street, Eastchester, New York, no later than November 19th, 2025, by 4 p.m. Petition forms shall be made available by the Secretary upon request. Take further notice that the Board of Fire Commissioners has divided the fire district into 10 election districts, and that the locations of such election districts and the polling place for each such election district is as follows. Number 1 shall consist of town election districts numbers 1, 2, 3, 4, 27, and 34. And the polling place shall be Leroy Gregory Post 979, 40 Bell Road, Scarsdale, New York. Number 2 shall consist of town election districts numbers 5, 23, 29, and 36. And the polling place shall be the Leroy Gregory Post 979, 40 Bell Road, Scarsdale, New York. Number 3 shall consist of town election districts number 6, 8, 26, 30, and 38, and the polling place shall be the Eastchester Public Library, 11 Oak Ridge Place, Eastchester, New York. Number 4 shall consist of town election districts numbers 7, 9, and 39, and the polling place shall be Eastchester Public Library, 11 Oak Ridge Place, Eastchester, New York. Number 5 shall consist of town election districts number 24, 25, 28, and 37, and the polling place shall be Eastchester Public Library, 11 Oak Ridge Place, Eastchester, New York. Number 6 shall consist of town election districts numbers 10, 11, 32, and 33, and the polling place shall be the Tuckahoe Community Center at 71 Columbus Avenue, Tuckahoe. Number 7 shall consist of town election districts 12, 13, and 14, and the polling place shall be the Tuckahoe Community Center, 71 Columbus Avenue, Tuckahoe. Number 8 shall consist of town election districts number 15, 31, and 35, and the polling place shall be Eastchester Public Library, 11 Oak Ridge Place, Eastchester, New York. Number 9 shall consist of town election districts numbers 16, 17, and 18, and the polling place shall be the Bronxville Village Hall, 200 Caulfield Road, Bronxville. Number 10 shall consist of town election districts 19, 20, 21, and 22, and the polling place shall be Bronxville Village Hall, 200 Caulfield Road, Bronxville, New York. Please take further notice that the Board of Fire Commissioners have provided for absentee ballots for fire district elections. An applicant for an absentee ballot shall submit an application setting forth 1, his or her name and residence address, including street and number, if any, or town and rural delivery route, if any. 2, that he or she is or will be on the day of election a qualified voter of the district in which he or she resides, and that he or she or will be on such date over 18 years of age, a citizen of the United States, and has or will have resided in the district for 30 days next preceding such date. 3, that he or she is registered in the town. 4, that he or she will be unable to appear to vote in person on the day of the election or such for which the absentee ballot is requested because he or she will be on such day, A, patient in the hospital or unable to appear personally at the polling place on such day because of illness or physical disability, or B, because his or her duties, occupation, or business will require him or her to be outside of the county of his or her residence on such day. Or C, because he or she will be on vacation outside the county of his or her residence on each day. Or D, absent from his or her voting residence because he or she is detained in jail, awaiting a grand jury or awaiting trial, or is confined in prison after conviction of an offense other than a felony. And 5, all of the information as required by law. Such application must be received by the district secretary at least 7 days before the election. If the ballot is to be mailed to the voter, or the day before the election, if the ballot is to be delivered personally to the voter of his or her agent. By order of the Board of Fire Commissioners, Fire District, Town of Eastchester, New York, Paul Ranalone, Chairman, Eastchester Board of Fire Commissioners. Resolution to use and transport Westchester County electronic voting machines. The Fire Board Chairman is authorized to execute all documents provided by the Westchester County Board of Election and authorize vendors for the use and transportation of the electronic voting machines for the December 9th, 2025 annual Fire Commissioners election. Resolution for swearing-in ceremony. Polling election officials who come to the swearing-in ceremony at the Tuckahoe Community Center on Monday, December 8th at 6 p.m. will be paid the amount of $50. Co-election officials will be paid $25 for setting up or closing down, and polling officials' pay on election day will be $100.
That's it.
That's it. Oh. Okay.
Motion?
Need a drink of water.
Need a motion on that. Motion.
Okay, so we need to,
Make a motion.
okay, make a motion to approve all that.
I'll make a motion.
Anybody second it?
I'll second. Oh, you second?
I'll second it.
Okay, I'll call the roll. Commissioner Yankowski.
Aye.
Commissioner Sarasi.
Aye.
Commissioner Lori.
Aye.
Commissioner Carlo.
Aye.
Commissioner Mandelon.
Aye.
Motion carried. Thank you, Commissioners.
You. Be it resolved that the Eastchester 9.9 Civic Plus contract renewal. Be it resolved that the Eastchester Board of Fire Commissioners approves to renew a contract for annual recurring website services with Civic Plus for a total of $9,536.80.
I'll second it.
I'll call the roll. Commissioner Yankowski.
Aye.
Commissioner Sarasi.
Aye.
Commissioner Lori.
Aye.
Commissioner Carlo. Commissioner Mandelon.
Aye.
Motion carried.
9.10, training reimbursement, Lieutenant Dominic DiRienzo. Be it resolved that the Eastchester Board of Fire Commissioners approves to reimburse Lieutenant Dominic DiRienzo for his attendance at the Fire Officer 4 program in November 2025 through Bucks County Community College for an overall cost of $550. I'll make the motion.
Second.
I'll call the roll. Commissioner Yankowski.
Aye.
Commissioner Sarasi.
Aye.
Commissioner Lori.
Aye.
Commissioner Carlo.
Aye.
Commissioner Mandelon.
Aye.
Motion carried.
Okay, 9.11, training reimbursement for firefighter Nicholas Genova. Be it resolved that the Eastchester Board of Fire Commissioners approves to reimburse firefighter Nicholas Genova for his attendance at the live fire training class offered through the New York State Association of Fire Chiefs for a total cost of $245. I'll make the motion.
Hold on 1 second. So, Jamie, that would fall under the prior benefit we offered that was part of that pool of money, $1,500?
Yes.
All right, so we got rid of that in the contract, so DiRanzo's issue is a little different as far as what he's taking. The idea of that contract revision was that we are not going to be reimbursing firefighters for any training they do on their own. You okay with that, Joe? I mean, we're in agreement, right?
I mean, we definitely agreed to get rid of that line.
Right.
Yeah.
So I don't want to start this up where now everybody's going to start coming forward with, getting reimbursed. We had a pot of money before, and that was exhausted. We didn't reimburse anybody, correct?
Well, that's right. So earlier, we had $1,500 in the prior contract that said we would reimburse up to $1,500, and it was first come, first served. Earlier this year, we reimbursed one firefighter an amount of $990. So that would have left $510 that was in the $1,500 that was budgeted. Now that the contract, the MOA has been signed, that would have been retroactive. We did take that out. Now there's language in there about a third training day that would, you could potentially work with the chief to choose something to attend and get overtime for it. So the reimbursement line was changed. It was removed from this.
But outside of that reimbursement, we never reimbursed any firefighters for anything.
No, the ones we've reimbursed usually were under that $1,500. So I guess I would say also, like, we did receive Dominic's request first, that would have got you to the $1,500 budget, even assuming that was still in the contract. So if you are going to continue to reimburse, that's just at your discretion. That's not based on the contract.
Okay, so.
Well, there's a difference between.
Well, so I think what Jamie's saying is you can't you shouldn't, or you don't want to reimburse him for the class, but he could take the class on overtime, and that would count as one of his training days.
Now,
So if it was an 8-hour class,
but I
the
think he
training-
couldn't this year because we've already used the 3 training days. So this year,
Right.
it would, it's too late because they've already had the 3 training days and we've already exhausted the budget.
But for next year,
That
if
will
he
no
was
longer
going to take a
exist.
class.
Right, so if next year he was gonna take the class, I think that seems to be the idea that was in that MOA, is that we would no longer be reimbursing for the classes, but if the chief agreed to it, then that would be something he could use as his 3rd training day, which he would receive overtime for.
Okay, so.
And who's paying for it then?
He would pay for the class, assuming it is a class, because there are some classes I think that there's no cost, but if he's taking a class that there's cost for, he would be paying for the class. But
Without being reimbursed?
Without being reimbursed, but he would be receiving 8 hours of time and a half for attending that class. That's just how it was changed, so.
Is that agreeable to you, Lieutenant?
I mean, I don't think this is the forum to go back and forth, but we'd be happy to discuss it if you're looking to table it, or I don't know if that's this.
Okay, we can do that.
I don't think this is the forum to go back and forth.
Okay, we'll table it and discuss it.
Yeah.
Okay,
I believe the class is prior to the next meeting.
Okay, I'll make a motion, we table it.
we'd have to have a special meeting to do that.
Well, I think, again, the language is no longer in the contract, but I think when it was in the contract, it was after the class was taken, right? Then they would give us proof of having attended the
Same
class.
thing as last year.
Right, so it's not, you don't have to meet again. You could improve, if he's, wants to take this class and he's gonna take it no matter what, he can take it and then come back to the board and request a reimbursement. But I think that was how it was written, that like they would provide proof of
Okay.
attendance.
Okay, all right. And we can discuss it at the next meeting.
Okay, so we're gonna table it.
Yeah.
Okay, so do we need a motion on that or not?
I don't think anyone introduced.
Okay, I withdraw my motion.
Okay, and the rest is the fire district budget, which, as we said before, is going to have a 4.68% change over 2025. Board is going to be $24,990 and $390,650. A difference of 4.68%.
I think he's reading references.
Which was just that one.
This one you read, right?
Oh, so there was an item after
We did
the reimbursement one for the Chester Heights gong, 9.12.
Oh, so,
That one right there is just a reference item, the proposed budget. So then I believe for detailed agenda, the page 3, it's right at the very bottom right there. So on page 3.
oh, yes, on this page. 9.12, Chester Heights gong.
Where do you see that? Oh, okay, I got it, yeah, I got it.
Discussion on the gong.
Yeah, I put it on there. I think we should, one of two things. Either get in touch with that woman who was interested in taking it, or whatever she wanted to purchase, or we should just take it down and let's get rid of it. I mean, it's been pushed around for the last couple of months. Somebody was supposed to fix it, to take care of it, they didn't. It's an eyesore now, and they're worried about somebody getting hurt, so we don't need a lawsuit. So I recommend one of the two ways, either we take it down, have it cut up, carted away, or we contact that woman who was interested in purchasing it.
Commissioner Sorossi, I think Mr. Vichy has some information on that if you want him to speak.
Okay, let's hear it. This was 2 months ago, I heard this.
Yeah,
Can you come up to the podium over there, please?
that's, since the board had an inability to act on this months ago, yeah, one proposal that was written up in November, one that was written in January, I don't remember the date of the other one. You acted on it, not at all, and you left it there. I got the proposals a month ago and put the wheels in motion. Those proposals were null and void because of the length of time. Now I'm in the process of getting them back. I got 2 back, I'm waiting for the last one. Hopefully it's the end of tomorrow. If I get that one back, this will be done before the cold weather comes in.
What will be done?
The gong will be fixed, it will be rebuilt and replaced. I'm waiting, yes, I am paying for it, because that belongs to the Chester Heights Union Corners Engine Hose Company, number 4.
I don't know, we never found out who really owns it.
That's because it was here before the fire department was a fire department.
So who are you saying owns it?
The Union Corners Engine and Hose Company. We were here before the fire department.
Can I do that? Why do you need 3 proposals?
You got 3 proposals.
That's because we have to. Because
So I'm waiting for
our procurement policy specifies that we need 3 proposals. You
Okay.
as an individual, a private individual, all you need is 1.
And I'm waiting for that one.
Okay. The cheapest one.
Let me ask you this, you bring that, you bring that proposal to us to look at?
Well, it's gonna be basically the same proposals. They're the same contractors.
Doesn't matter. We should
I mean, either way, the gong has to come down. I'll have it down at 0800 tomorrow morning. Say when. We talked about this, you never got in contact with me.
I'm just waiting for Casarella or Casarella's in Wichita. He passed it off to his son. I'm waiting for that proposal to come back.
Okay.
Once they give me the amount and when it can be done, we're gonna move ahead.
Takes liability for that. If someone gets hurt,
As far as what?
somebody getting hurt on that, who takes the liability, us?
Fire department property, well, it's town.
Well, if it's our property, then we don't have to leave it up. Because if they're not gonna take liability, that's what the people were worried about down there, that some kid would get hurt on it. That was the whole question of this gong.
Well,
Now,
I
if
think
we're gonna have to be liable for it, I think it should be our option to either take it down.
We should have done that last year.
Well, we wanted to, but everybody kept saying, we'll put flowers around it, do this and that. I just kept pushing
Yeah,
it around. But now we're bringing it up, so what's the difference if it's now or then?
But the flowers ain't gonna hold it.
well, I
It's not.
I think we can take the gong down, lay it down for now, because that's not gonna affect the amount it's gonna cost to rebuild that stand. So, you know, I think the assistant chief, if they can take it
I'll have it
down,
down tomorrow.
take it down.
I'd like to confirm, see who has really the right to that gong. I mean, if it's our property, it's our decision, we can get rid of it. If not, if the union has it, I'd like to make sure to see, or volunteers, I want to see I'd like to confirm really who has the authority to do anything with that gun. If it turns out that the fire district, it's the fire district property, and we decide that we want to get rid of it, then that would be the answer. You know, if it's not our property and it's the volunteers' property, then they can do what they want with it, but I want to make sure that we know exactly whose property it is.
Well, I can tell you that that gong was hanging from a telephone pole where the marble schoolhouse is now.
Right, right.
When the original Chester Heights Firehouse was in a barn on that property. It was there, so that's when the Chester Heights Union Corners Engine and Hose Company was around. And it was started in 1904, so it's probably been around 130 years.
Okay. But it is town property or is it district property? And I'm not sure exactly who has right to make a decision on whether that thing stays or goes.
So the volunteers are gonna fix it, so you could just give us a little time to, Mr. Vishy gets his quotes from the company, from the man. I saw the man last Monday. He says his son is moving on with it, and we should have it completed very shortly. That's his exact words he told me.
In the meantime, we can take it down and
I have no
not have the
problem.
liability of
I have
getting
no problem,
lost.
just take it down and lay it right there. That's not a problem.
Okay.
Well, let's contact the attorney, like you said, and see who's liable for it if somebody gets hurt.
Okay, contact the attorney.
Now, if
I got
he
no
says
problem.
we're liable for it, I think we should take it down. Why should we have it put up if we're gonna be liable?
Either way, it has to come down.
That's it.
So say when.
Tomorrow morning, Chief?
You got it.
Okay. Okay, future meeting dates,
October 21st.
October 21st, the budget hearing and regular meeting at Station 1 Fire Headquarters, it's here. Any comments from Local 916?
Thank you, Commissioners. Joseph Costanzo, President, Local 916. I know I've missed a couple of meetings, so if I'm repeating myself, I apologize. I just wanted to congratulate our union members, Jerry Longo, William George, and Jerry Maiello. Jerry's retiring this Wednesday. The other two members have retired in the last couple of months. I just want to thank them for their service to the district and their service to the union, so thank you to them. I want to wish the 3 new firefighter recruits the best of luck in the academy. I believe they've extended the academy to 22 weeks now.
No, it was 20, it's 21 now.
Oh, okay.
Extended week because of firefighter 2 has some added stuff to the program.
So we appreciate the board hiring and we wish them the best of luck. And then lastly, I just want to thank the district. I think it's overlooked that all 5 commissioner positions are volunteer positions. The amount of work that you guys put in day in and day out, just on a number of issues, whether it be the contract or the Chester Heights gong, the firehouses, or reading that 20-page resolution. I just want to thank you guys for the hundreds, if not thousands, of hours that you guys put in. I think it's definitely overlooked. So thank you guys.
Comments from the public?
You're going to put a time frame on the speaking.
Oh, could you say your name?
Oh, I'm Michael Parisi, 16 Lockwood Avenue. Are you going to put a time frame on the speaking? When the public comes up and addresses the board, you're going to put it. How is the public going to know if it's 15 minutes or 20 minutes? Or are you going to have a clock?
Well, timer.
It'd be 3 minutes.
3 minutes, okay. You're going to have a timer? Okay, are you going to put something in writing for the public, like you do here, to say these are the rules of Robert's Rules and Order, that this is what allows you to speak if it's 5 minutes or whatever the time frame may be?
We'll put something together.
Pardon?
We'll put something together.
I can't hear
We'll
you.
put something together.
Okay, and you're gonna put it on the department letterhead, and you're gonna have the attorney sign it, right? So there's no questions
Well,
that'll
we're
be
going to
asked.
speak to the attorney.
I can't hear you.
We're gonna speak to the attorney.
We're gonna speak to the attorney, so it won't be, it'll be on a department letterhead, and it will be this way, so there won't be any more jogging about it.
Right.
Okay. Number two, we don't salute the flag anymore when we have a meeting. We did it. When did you do it? I was sitting in the
The
room.
meeting started at 6:45. We adjourned into an executive session for 15 minutes, and then we came back to the public session at
But the
7
public,
p.m.
usually we salute the flag.
We
when the
did.
public- But the public wasn't here. You guys were.
Anthony Fiore was here.
I was here.
I was sitting behind Anthony. I was sitting, I didn't.
No, the meeting started at 6:45. You weren't here then. Anthony was the only person here. The meeting was scheduled for
I thought
6:45.
the meeting was scheduled for 7 when I looked.
6:45.
I was late too, Mike, so I thought it was 7 too.
Okay, so I stand corrected, all right, but I thought it was 7.
We did have we had the flag, and we saluted the flag. That's what
That's
normally
Mr.
do.
Ryan, I stand corrected. Usually the meetings are at 7, correct?
Yes.
Okay, so that's why I stand corrected on that. And just one other thing, if you're gonna take the gong down, are you going to put some caution, chief, some caution tape around? Because now there's a lot of activity going on the weekend down there.
Well, it's
And
already
our
covered
kids
in
are-
caution tape, isn't it?
Yeah, we'll put cones around it.
Bullets around it or something like that. And what about the poles? You're gonna take them down, or you're gonna leave them up?
Yeah, that's fine. The poles aren't the issue.
Okay, I know.
We're worried if the poles, like the cross beam
Right.
collapse, and then that 1,000-pound wheel
Right.
comes down.
I'm sure it'll be easier, whoever's gonna repair it, to leave them up so they can see what they have to deal
Yeah.
with as far as removing footings and whatnot.
Right,
But whatever it is, the gong will
okay.
be laid flat and.
That's good. Yeah, just that there's a lot of activity down there with the baseball going on now,
Yeah, well,
okay?
that's why we want it down. We
Right.
want kids sitting on it because you see yellow tape, it's like,
Yeah, sure.
we're fly to,
Take your legs off, yeah. Okay, I stand corrected on saluting the flag, okay? Thank you.
Says that we're gonna contact the lawyer. When you contact the lawyer, I wanna be there. I just don't want one commissioner there
Let's
or
just-
2
let's-
commissioners.
Let's just call for a special meeting,
Okay, but,
find out Angela's availability.
okay, let's find that out, but if anybody else doesn't wanna be there, I wanna be there when we ask them about this 3-minute warning, about the volunteers being a liability. Because not just the volunteers are a liability. If the students come in here on Fire Prevention Month, which is next month, which is only another week and a half, Chief, or 2 weeks?
October 5th it starts.
October
The 5th
5th
to the
it
11th.
starts. That's a liability too, because there's teachers coming in, teachers' aides. Some children are about 4th, 5th grade, some are kindergarten kids. Those are liabilities too. So if we're gonna single out the volunteers as liability, we're gonna single out the school children, which I do not wanna do.
Jesus Christ.
What's the matter, Commissioner?
Are you gonna schedule everybody comes
Well,
in?
that's what-
Or is this audience liable?
What? Yeah, sure they
So
are.
then you shouldn't be in here?
Well,
Is that what you're
the
saying?
Commissioner Carlos started this.
Well, I'm not Commissioner Carl, I'm me. I'm asking, should they not be here? Are we
Well,
liable for
are
them?
they a liability? Tell me.
Well, you told us they were, not
I
me.
didn't say that,
You
Commissioner
said
Carlos.
school teachers, you said
Wait a
anybody
minute,
who
wait
comes
a
in
minute.
here.
I'm
Well, they come in here, they're anybody, so how are they not liable?
I agree with you.
Okay, so maybe they should leave.
Okay, then maybe the school children shouldn't come either?
Well, that's it. You want to stop everybody from coming in the firehouse?
Ask Commissioner
Is that-
Carlo.
Why are you
These
pushing
were
Mr.
just,
Carl?
these were
I'm
just, these
asking.
were just.
Oh,
we were-
Commissioner
understand.
Carlo opened this can of worms that the
We
volunteers.
we said
the
these
volun-
were just guidelines.
Really?
Didn't you say?
We're gonna discuss it in a meeting with the attorney.
Okay, but didn't you say the volunteers were a liability?
Yeah, well, so, yeah.
That's enough. That's enough. We'll leave the attorneys see what they say.
Okay, all right. I know when things get hairy, no one wants to hear it, but I'm just revitalizing what Commissioner Carlos said, that we're
Okay,
a
all right.
liability.
I've heard enough of it.
All right.
Jesus.
Anthony,
A
I'm
week
sorry,
ago-
but I'm trying to bring this out.
Let me just say something.
Yeah.
A week ago, September 11th, a date which will live in infamy as far as I'm concerned.
Absolutely.
This country was as one, like never before. Let's see if we can keep that momentum during our meetings, all right?
Absolutely.
Now, as has become a tradition for me, when I was a union member, I greeted at the union meetings, and at the commissioner meetings as well. And now that I'm chairman of the board, I'd like to read my 9/11 speech.
Did you want to see if anyone else from the public wanted to speak?
Does anybody else want to speak?
What?
Yeah.
Good evening again. Commissioners, Anthony Fiore, 3 Business Place, Tuckahoe, New York. just for future meetings, whenever you use the lawyer for any resolution or anything, get it in writing, get it all down. This way you have to keep going from month to month to month. This way just make the meetings go smoother. Okay?
But the lawyer does not write most of the
Right.
resolution,
Right.
only when there's like legal ramifications. Like they made a
Yeah.
resolution to buy a new garage
Door.
door. The lawyer doesn't review
Yeah,
that. We
whatever-
get 3 quotes and then they approve it.
Yeah.
It's the board's resolution.
Yeah.
They don't have to defer to the lawyer.
Yeah. Okay.
They should get legal advice if there's, ramifications in
Yeah.
it.
Okay.
But it's the board that makes the resolution and votes on it and passes it.
Yeah.
The letter from the lawyer.
Doesn't mean anything.
I've never heard that in chief over 8
Yeah,
years.
yeah.
We've
Okay.
never, have you ever seen?
Yeah. Okay.
that? So you may have misheard, or maybe this is something new, but we have never had a piece of paper with letterhead with the lawyer's
We've
signature
never had
on
a
it
lawyer sign
for a
anything
resolution.
to us to do anything.
Nothing.
Once we hire the lawyer to represent the fire
Yeah.
district, then he has the authorization to consult with the commission.
Just anything.
You know, we get a letter here, and some individual says, coming from our lawyer. I checked with him, he says he wasn't quite certain of who in the office wrote the letter.
Right, but we're gonna have a conference call with the lawyer, and you can ask him that question.
Well, that's what I
And he'll
asked,
clarify
that's what I
it.
asked this meeting.
Right,
Am I correct, Commissioner? Right on?
but the lawyer wasn't, he was not available.
Yeah, I know.
So we'll pick a convenient time and have a special meeting, and you'll get your answers.
Okay.
Unfortunately, we can't get those answers tonight.
No, I understand that.
All right, and good luck to the 3 recruits that's in the academy.
Just one question. Bruce, I know you're gonna take the bell down. What? Chief.
Get it right, you want to be a member of the body, you address me as my rank.
Yes, chief. What time are you approximately gonna get it done tomorrow? 9 o'clock?
Yeah, I would say that.
Okay, thank you. That's all I want to know. I just want to take a picture of how it's hooked to the crossbeam. I know we have pictures of it, I just need a picture of the crossbeam.
I can take pictures if you want.
No, I'll be there, that's why I asked at 9 o'clock, I'm free at 9 o'clock, I'll come by and take a picture.
From Wednesday, September 12th, 2001, through Sunday, September 16th, the Eastchester Fire Department sent a fully manned engine and ladder company to cover Bronx firehouses or to stand by at Yonkers Raceway for deployment. I was at Station 1 and remember feeling worried about these mutual aid companies, not knowing what might happen to them. On Thursday, September 13th, Mount Vernon Fire Department Local 107, in conjunction with the Westchester Professional Firefighters Coalition, was able to contact officials in New York City in order to organize a relief effort. After getting approval to do so, they contacted all professional firefighter unions in Westchester. In a matter of a few hours, 120 firefighters all over Westchester met at Mount Vernon Station 3. Included in that number were 10 firefighters from Eastchester. 2 EFD members were able to get 3 buses at no cost. Shortly before 7 p.m., the 3 buses left Mount Vernon with a state police escort to Manhattan. Almost from the time we turned onto the West Side Highway, people lined both sides of the street with signs and flags, many thanking us and cheering. Signs read, "God bless you," and "You're our heroes." The buses parked off Hudson Street on Beach Street. Upon arrival, all firefighters were organized into 10-man companies, with either a lieutenant or captain in charge. I took command of the Eastchester contingent. We walked from the buses to the staging area, 1 block from what has become known as Ground Zero. Along the way, people on the sidewalks clapped and thanked us, offered us water, food, gloves, masks, and anything else we might need to do our work. Walking along, we could see and smell the smoke from what was once the World Trade Center. At the staging area, we saw an engine and ladder truck on the side street. The truck's aerial was mangled and bent over the cab. The engine was recognizable only by the front part of the cab, where the driver and officer would sit. Everything else had been crushed to about 5 feet high. On the officer's door, someone had written in memory of the lieutenant and firefighters, who apparently had all been killed. That engine and that ladder truck are in the 9/11 Museum at the World Trade Center site now. After getting permission to proceed, we passed a parking lot filled with burnt-out cars. We stood in front of 3 World Financial Center, now used as a rest and rehab station. Construction workers cut up the fallen North Bridge in preparation to move it out of the way in order to gain access to the main area of debris behind the heavy equipment. We walked between 3 and 4 World Financial Center, along with the garden atrium, and into 2 World Financial Center, to the front entrance on West Street. From this point, we got an unobstructed view of the massive destruction. From this entrance to 2 World Trade Center, a distance of about 400 feet, were steel box beams lying parallel with about 3 feet apart on top of 10 to 15 feet of concrete and of pulverized debris. There were several hundred rescuers and about a dozen bucket brigades removing debris from around the 7-story stump of the tower and passing it down to the front of the financial center, where it was dumped and the empty buckets returned to the front line. Iron workers cut up the steel beams, which were passed down along the line and thrown on a pile. We fielded on several of these lines, balancing ourselves on the box beams. In some areas, you could look through the rubble and see the remains of a fire truck or ambulance. Several of our firefighters attempted to tunnel underneath the box beams in order to look for victims below us. Every so often, someone would yell to be quiet. The generators, power tools would be shut down. Everyone would stop working and just listen for any sounds from the debris pile. After a minute or so, work would continue. Looking up and around from the middle of ground zero gave a clear view of the destruction. Every window facing the Twin Towers had been blown out, and chunks of buildings had been gouged out from falling debris. The sides of the remaining buildings were covered in a thin coat of powder that could be seen floating in the air through the glow of floodlights. It was several inches thick for many blocks around the site. Despite the hard work, early Friday morning it got noticeably cooler, and about 2 a.m. it started to rain. A drizzle at first. Suddenly it started getting heavy, making footing treacherous, and since we were working in t-shirts, the rain just made us wetter and more uncomfortable. An FDNY chief officer called off operations, and our chief officers decided it was time to go back. So we picked up our gear and headed back to the buses. On the buses, we were tired, cold, and wet. There was little, if any, talking on the return trip to Mount Vernon. I began to wonder what we had accomplished by going down there. We moved perhaps a couple of tons of debris, a literal drop in the bucket of the estimated 1.2 million tons of rubble. We had saved no lives, only one body had been recovered. Yet for 8 hours, we had been willing participants in a piece of history, something people will talk about long after we are gone. We were the first group of firefighters to go down to ground zero, and not the last. 2 shifts of Westchester firefighters, Eastchester included, per day responded to the World Trade Center site over the course of the next several days. The only reason this effort was discontinued was the FDNY went to a 24-hour schedule with half their personnel working at any one time, meaning they had enough manpower to send to the site and man their firehouses. Whatever needed to be done, whatever we were asked to do, we would not have hesitated on this new day of infamy, September 11th, 2001. In addition to myself, firefighters Quentin Baker, Joseph Pinto, Stephen Ranalone, James Rockhill, Ken Simonides, Glenn Shortbridge, Brian Tweedy, Vincent Spadaro, and William Mugerman also went down with me that day. Starting on September 11th and continuing for days, weeks, and months afterwards, ordinary people, organizations, and businesses donated money, food, and water, and clothing to victims and rescuers. A couple of weeks later, Local 916 had a Fill the Boot fundraiser at the intersection of Mill Road and White Plains Road and collected over $30,000 for the FDNY Widows and Children's Fund. 1 week after 9/11, an estimated 6,000 people filled the property outside Town Hall for a memorial service with political representation from Eastchester, Tuckahoe, and Bronxville. The clergy of almost every faith that has membership in the town offered words of blessing and comfort to all. 3 police departments, the fire department, EVAC, were all well represented. Weeks later, the fire department and police department played a charity basketball game. Local 916 sponsored the collation at the funeral for Fire Marshal and Tuckahoe resident Ronald Buca at Concordia College. Members attended numerous funerals. Thanks to retired FDNY Captain Bill Spinelli and as a direct result of her sales of the FDNY 343 hats, George Glover Jr. and I were invited to attend the FDNY memorial services held inside Madison Square Garden in October of 2002. Although it was a cold and rainy day, about 30,000 firefighters from across the country and around the world marched in a parade prior to the services. It is amazing what can be accomplished when people put aside their differences, get together, and work for the common good. And that's my speech. This picture was taken within the first week after we were down there, but it gives you an idea of what it looked like when we were down there. And that's the end of my comments. Motion to adjourn?
Make a motion to adjourn.
Make a motion to adjourn with the.
Moment of silence for Bob Sullivan.
Bob Sullivan, and also for the
Silence for
9/11,
Robert Sullivan.
the 9/11 crew.
He's adjourned.